Well, 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 look what we have here in Limbus Company 1 minute ago. We have the new House of Spiders Ring Apprentice Faust and House of Spiders Nursefather Hong Lu. I'm not going to waste any of your time. Let's get to reading the kits. Boom. We are actually going to be starting with the Nursefather Hong Lu because he is the Nursefather, and then we will be going on to Thao, who is very Mao because she is the apprentice. As per usual, if you want to get my full opinion on everything that comes out, we will be pulling on the day, which is this upcoming week. Let's begin. Immediately, I see bleed. Where's my charge, Kim Ji-hoon? Anyway, hold on. Okay. In all seriousness, let's actually start, shall we? We have the House of Spiders Ring Nursefather Hong Lu, which, by the way, amazingly look. He has Pride, Envy, and Lust. We're going to be starting with the skill 1, Pride. 2 coin slash. Anatomize. Deal more damage for every type of negative effects on the target. Cool. On use, gain final power for every X bleed on target. The first coin will inflict bleed potency. The second coin will inflict defense level down next turn and gain defense level up next turn. Okay, so it looks like they will have, so far, the positive and negative kind of effect gimmick that the actual, enemies have. So that's good. Good so far. Then we have, nothing else to say about that, but on to the next one, right? On to the next one. We have gather the ingredients. Blood-bathed object. I can't tell if that's a spelling error or if that's just a, whatever. 3 coin envy. Mono slash. Deal more types of damage for every X type of negative effects on the target. We have gain final power for every X bleed on target. We do have at X corpus ingredient count. Okay, he is charged. He's charged, guys. Calm down. He's charged. At X corpus ingredient count, consume Y corpus ingredient count to gain the following effects. He gains clash power, and he converts the final skill of this coin to unbreakable. His first coin inflicts bleed count, his second inflicts bind, and gains haste next turn. His third will gain the corpus ingredient count. If target has X types of negative effects, use installation art, number 3 improvised ribcage skill against the target. That does remind me he has a lot of skills. It's a very vertical it's a very vertical page. A little bit more than usual. So okay, so he does have an extra skill, which is the follow-up he has in the teaser. He does have corpus ingredient, which I assume is the charge that he has. So far, so far standard, decent, nothing super complicated, I should say. We'll obviously read what the extra skill does after. Then we have, oh my jeez, okay. It's actually so vertical. Why? It's so stretched. Okay. Tibia's melody. Anatomization of the unatomized by the anatomized. Okay, I didn't actually, yeah, she sells by the seashore. 4 coin lust skill. Deal more damage for every X SS attack weight beyond the number of actual targets. Okay, that's a standard they're using now. It's kind of like a free way for them to add base attack weight to the kit and damage values, which is very nice. We have final power for every X bleed on the main target. No coin power I've noticed so far. No coin powers or any of that or base power stuff. So seems to be just based off his raw numbers and the final power. At X corpus ingredient count, consume up to Y count and gain the following effects. I'm zooming in on this. Gain final power, deal more damage for every X corpus ingredient count consumed, and then at X corpus ingredient, that's potency, gain extra attack weight. Ooh. Okay. And then convert all coins on this skill to unbreakable. The first coin inflicts bleed, the second inflicts bind and gains haste next turn. The third inflicts damage down and gains slash damage up next turn. The fourth coin will deal more damage for every X type of negative effect on the target, and inflict bleed count. Okay, so he's got this negative effect and self-buff effect going on right now. We have an extra attack on the skill 2, and we have more attack weight on the skill 3. I don't fully remember how much attack weight the teaser showed. It might be, I think it goes up to, was it 5? No, I don't think it was 5. Maybe it was 5. I don't really remember, but we also have a lot more skills to go through. First of all, we actually have curating the exhibition, which is a lust evade. We do have assist defense, which haven't had assist defense since Malfow. On evade, inflict bind next turn against the attacker. Gain haste next turn. Okay, so a lot of bind. Here's a lot of bind infliction. A lot of bind, a lot of haste. He's very fast identity, isn't he? Now we have this. My How We Love the Flesh and Blood, which is a single pride skill. It's indiscriminate and unclashable. The skill has the following properties. Does not trigger defensive skills. External effects cannot trigger this to be reused. Its attack does not hit. Applies offense level up to the target. Okay, this isn't the effect that is after skill 2. No, this is art number 3, which is this one here. So we're going to have to figure out, the biggest thing I want to know is, how in the heck is this activated? I don't know. I guess we'll have to read the full kit. They are 2 pages, by the way. I think I might have forgot to mention that, but they are both fat 2 pages. Here we have the follow-up attack, which is installation art number 3, improvised ribcage. We have a 2-coin pride pierce skill. Unclashable, the skill does not trigger defensive skills. On use, you will consume X corpus ingredient count to inflict bleed, and the second coin will deal more damage for every X type of negative effect on the target. It will deal SP damage, heal SP on self, and inflict corpus theater. Surely corpus theater doesn't just insta-stagger you, right? Because like that would be a little broken, Kim Ji-hoon. But you know what? Let's see what they're cooking. I can already tell you. This identity, you need to play it out. Like, this is one of those, I'm already going to tell you, this is one of those that you need to be playing in person, or you need to watch someone play it to get how all of the moving pieces together. Already, I don't even need to read the passives and, like, all the buff stuff. Because you can tell, there are some characters that you can get the gimmick of instantly, then there are some where you're impossible to kind of judge how it works until you get it in paper, in physical, right? And this is definitely one of those. But, before that, we have closing time. Installation art number 1, your flesh and bones as the gallery seats. 5 coin unbreakable. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Yeah, it's a good thing we started with with the Nursefather, okay? Right out the back. Holy crap. The question though is, how do you actually activate this? Oh, let's read it first, and then we'll question how to actually activate it. I feel like all of this is probably from the passives. We have a 5-coin Lust Unbreakable. Deal more damage for every excess attack weight beyond the number of actual targets. When attacking just one target, deal even more damage. At X corpus count, consume up to Y to gain the following effects. Final power, deal more damage for every X corpus ingredient count consumed. And then at X corpus ingredient, gain attack weight. Attack end for all ring identities. Heal SP and apply the somatic frisson-inducing melody. Okay, he not only is he... I mean, we all knew he would buff Albina, but he even has ring identity team leader qualities. Not even... Okay. No, fair enough. You know what? We're gonna have to read what that does. Especially because it's on his massive skill 3, so... Let's read what it does, by the way. 5 coins. We have inflict bleed potency on the first coin. The second will inflict bind next turn and gain haste next turn. The third will inflict damage down next turn and gain slash damage up next turn. The fourth inflicts bleed count. And the fifth deals more damage for every type of negative effect. Inflicts. Is that? Burn! It's burn season! Yes! Oh my! I never doubted you, Kim Ji-hoon. I never doubted you. I've never doubted you for a second in my life. I knew that you would understand. I knew he'd understand. Oh my goodness, it's real. Burn season. Another W for burn season. Also, it inflicts Corpus Theater, which we'll have to read what that does. How do we activate the skill? Is this an ascendant skill, or is this... No, it is an ascendant skill. It's a 3-2. It's literally exactly like Rien. Are they all gonna inflict a burn? Are they all gonna inflict a burn? Is every Nursefather gonna inflict burn? I think every Nursefather is gonna inflict burn. No, they do, because we have... Oh my god, they all inflict burn. They all inflict burn! They all do! Every single one of them! Finally, guys, we have the Honglu's first burn identity of, you know, since, what was it? Liu? Yeah, alright. Anyway, how do we activate this? It doesn't have a conditional here, but that could be a error or it's on the passives. Anyway, burn. Copious. We also have his second defense because, of course, his greed. Not only does he have to be a burn identity, but... I hope I didn't burst your eardrums. I'm so sorry. Please, vandalism is prohibited. It's a 2-coin clashable counter. This is an assist defense exclusive skill. This is the skill he will use when he activates assist defense. Deal more damage for every X type of negative effects on the target. Gain coin power for every bleed on target. At X corpus ingredient count, you consume Y to gain the following effects: clash power, and convert the final coin to unbreakable. The first coin inflicts bleed count, and the second inflicts bleed. Okay, not bad so far. So that's the first page. Again, a few things. One, how the hell does this skill activate? Second, is how do we activate the skill 3? Yeah, that's kind of my biggest question so far. And burn on the final skill. Alright, let's look at the second page, shall we? Skaboo. Here's the second page, so we're actually going to read how this works. Honglu, Magnum Opus Tibia. Yep. Upon entering the encounter for the first time, you will gain the number of ring allies on the field. Multiplied by X corpus ingredient count. Skill end. If the skill dealt HP or shield damage, gain corpus ingredient count. If target is killed, gain additional corpus ingredients count. Okay. Gain ingredient every time this unit consumes X count. Okay, so normal ingredients potency, ingredient count is count. If the effective verb brings this unit ingredient to potency to X or higher, gain tibia. Okay. So if you have like maybe like 3 or higher, or 5 potency, you get tibia. Base attack skills and clashable skills count as skills that gain charge count. Yep, there it is. Charge bleed is real, and I'm pretty sure that's literally all of them. So what, his evade doesn't count as charge count? That's like the only thing? Okay, fair enough. You know what? No problem there. Here is his second passive. This is the Transcend to Corpus. Upon entering the encounter for the first time, gain X viewing the tableau. When the ring faction allied identities use a skill, lose viewing the tableau. Oh, turn end. If this unit does not have viewing the tableau, replace one of its base skills with closing time, installation number 1, your flesh and bones as the gallery seats. At the next turn start, prioritize the skill at the left bottom row. If the skill replaced becomes inaccessible due to being replaced by a different skill, activate the above effect again. Oh! Wait. What? Closing time. Wait. Oh! That's his Ascendant Skill 3! Wait! His Ascendant Skill 3 is on a timer? Oh my... Wait, is this... Wait, it's on a timer. And the more allies that you have of the ring identities, the faster the timer goes down, and it just activates. It's like Furioso. It just replaces the skill. Okay. Turn end. If this unit was staggered for the first time, while under this effect, recover from stagger, excluding force stagger. Okay, we have to be under this effect for him to get the unstagger, I believe. Okay. Alright. Okay. So we figured out how to get to S3. What about his other passive? He has one more passive. Before the House of Spiders. What? The ring Apprentice Faust uses its skill 3. The House of Spiders, ring Nursefather Honglu uses My How We Love the Flesh and Blood of Faust. Oh. On hit. If the attack skill inflicted a negative effect, heal SP attack end. If the unit SP is at max, gain slash damage up next turn with this unit heals SP with effect. Okay. So, that skill is not something that you could control. This you don't control. So when Faust uses a skill 3, it's skill free except ego. Honglu will automatically use it first. And we know from the teaser that it goes first. Okay. Interesting. So he just so he just buffs Foul for free. That's pretty... Foul gets buffed for free, and the teamwork is not only just that specifically, but also the ring faction identities. Okay. What's this? Please do stop running and be seated. Turn end, inflict offensive down and bleed count next turn on one enemy with the fastest speed. In focus encounters the part. I'm sorry? What? This has to be like a no way, this is a Lust Res, right? If this is a Lust Res, is this not the most broken support passive for bleed in the game? What could this be? Even bare minimum numbers, this is insanely busted, no? One offense level down, one bleed count every turn? On turn end as well? Is that not insane? What could you make this? That's not Lust. Pride? No. Wrath, maybe? That's interesting. That's actually insanely... That's insanely goated. Okay. Wow. Alright, that's kind of nuts. But we'll come back to that. It's time to have a look at the status effects, shall we? Corpus ingredient is unique charge. Interacts the same way as normal charge does to the effects that raise or reduce charge, potency, and or count. You actually lose count on turn end. Turn end lose X count. I guess because you gain it from just hitting no matter what, but you actually lose stuff on turn end, which is very interesting. Here we have viewing the tableau. If the House of Spiders Ring Apprentice Faust is on the field, you gain protection at turn start. Awesome. And then you have lose X stacks. So you lose stacks no matter what at the end of the turn. Also, this is a really nice little hung lose, like bloop, 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 bloop. So no matter what, you lose stacks, so you'll always go down toward your Ascended Skill 3 pretty much. But if you have the Ring and Faust on the screen, you get even more bonuses. Here we have Corpus Theater. When this unit gains bleed from enemy attacks and skills, randomly gain the following effects next turn and lose Y of the stack. Bleed potency, bind, and defensive down. Okay, this is just curses. So this is just a different version of curse. Right? That's pretty much it. And now you get this from specifically the skill 2-2 and the skill 3-2, I believe. I don't think anyone else gives you this. Is the skill 3? No, so it's just those two. So the follow-up attack and the Ascended Skill 3, you pretty much get a ring version of curse. So that's neat, a little bonus. Artwork Tibia. Apply the following effects to this unit's base attack skills and clashable counter skills based on the corpus ingredient. Oh, I'm sorry? So he just gets this for free if... Oh, depending on the level of ingredient that he has. Gain base power. For the first level. Second level, if the enemy has bleed, deal more damage. Third level, inflict more bleed potency and count. Fourth level, gain base power. Fifth level, gain base power. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. He might do a lot of fucking damage. Holy shit. Now, what is this semantic Frisian inspiring melody? This is the thing he gives to the ring allies, by the way. Gain minimax speed. Base attack skills on clash. Gain clash power and deal more damage. Oh, okay, yeah, just for fucking... hey, Ring Sang. Hey, Ring Otis. There you go. Just have that for free. And foul. There you go. He gets a lot of bait. Is this a negative ID? Don't get me wrong. Is his skill 3 negative, or am I just, like, reading too into it? It might be negative, though. Unless they just want to do base power because they think it's because it has unbreakable coins. Oh, you know what? That's probably it. It's probably just because he has unbreakable coins. So giving them coin power wouldn't really... No, actually, I have no clue. Actually, you know what? I take it all back. I got no fucking clue. It might be a negative. But this is all of his skills. So all of his skills will gain base power. This guy might be a monster at 0 SP. This guy might be the 0 SP demon. Like, what the fuck do you do against this? I mean, assuming... how are you going to have all of this but not have SP? You know what? You never know. All your allies might die and be like, oh, who knows? But anyway, a lot of base power. So his clashing's not going to be an issue. Final power clashing. He has a lot of, again, damage modifiers that we won't see until we actually get to the game. The skill 3 being automatic might be crazy. Or it might be okay. It might be the same pace as Furiosa, or it might be faster. Feels like it might be faster than Furiosa, but again, I don't know until we get there. The buffs that he gives to his allies are pretty fucking free, especially if you want to use Ring. He seems really consistent. I guess is what I should say. Especially because of his count. So he does count as charge bleed, by the way. So he is charge bleed. You know, so Mirror Dungeon W. He buffs Foul. The support passive might be the most cracked bleed support passive in the game. And I'm not even exaggerating. And he has 3 and 4 coins minimum, and he's got a 5 coin. Yeah, he's he also has a really good clashable counter, by the way. Because his buff also affects his clashable counter, by the way. This thing's probably going to be roll like a 25, bro. Like, what am I going to do against that, bro? Who am I? No wonder they were fighting ring mannequins. Because the ring mannequins are the only things that they could show off in the trailer that can handle this. No wonder they were only fighting ring mannequins, bro. Anyway, shall we talk about Foul now? Foul is also a 3-page. We're going to move on to Foul. And I'll give my thoughts of the entire thing at the end. So Foul, who's very, very Mal, is obviously also most likely Charge Bleed. We have her 2 forms. We have her Iron Maiden form, her non-Iron Maiden form. We have a Gluttony, an Envy, and a Lust. Let's have a look at her skill 1. We have Butcher Ribs, a 2-coin Gluttony Slash. This is an Iron Maiden exclusive skill. You gain Clash Power for X type of negative effects on the target. You also gain Final Power for X Bleed on the target. On the first coin, you inflict bleed count. On the second coin, you inflict defensible down next turn and gain defensible up this turn. Okay, again, very similar and simple compared to Hong Lu, except this one actually gives her bleed count. We have skill 2, which is Fascia Hungers. She's so hungry, please feed her. We have a 3-coin Envy Slash skill. This is also Iron Maiden exclusive. She gains Clash Power for every X type of negative effects on the target. She gains Final Power for X Bleed on the target. At X Corpus Ingredient count, she consumes Y ingredient count. To gain the following effect, she gains Clash Power and converts the final skill to Unbreakable. Her first coin inflicts Bleed count. The second one inflicts Bind next turn. And the third one, she gains the Corpus Ingredient count. Okay. So similar to the normal Fascia skill, similar to Hong Lu's, although hers gives her Clash Power, and she looks like she's more count-orientated, at least in her base skills, than current Hong Lu. But he also has the bonus with Tibia, so who knows. Now we move on to, excuse me, Repressed Flesh, which is a 4-coin Lust skill. Jesus, this is also Iron Maiden exclusive. Gain Final Power for every X Bleed on the target. At X Corpus Ingredient count, you consume up to Y to gain the following effects. Final Power, and deal more damage for every X count consumed. The first coin inflicts Bleed, the second inflicts Bind, the third inflicts damage down, and the fourth inflicts Bleed count alongside dealing more damage for every X type of negative effect on the target. Already I note that Faust does not seem to gain as much benefit effects like how Hong Lu does, at least in her Iron Maiden form. This might change, but so far, her Iron Maiden form is very, very simple, but it looks like she only gains her Corpus Ingredient from the skill 2, which is probably what she uses to dismantle from her Iron Maiden form. But again, very strong, especially the skill 3, 4-coin. I mean, Bind, damage down, again, they use these as conditionals. These things are always good to have. She's got bleed count every skill. Let's look at her defensive. She has 3 defensives. Yeah, agreed. Anyway. Oh, I see. We have Exhibition Arrangement, which is a Lust clashable guard. Iron Maiden exclusive skill. Her Clash win will inflict a bleed count on the attacker. She'll also deal pierce damage equal to the bleed potency multiplied by X on the target. Okay, so there you go. She does inflict bleed count on the Clash win instead of being hit, at least so far. She does have a second defenses, which we'll hold off on that because that requires this flow state, which we will read after we do this. So again, first part of her Iron Maiden kit is very simple. She gets a bit of defensive buffs on her first coin. She has bleed count on every skill. She has Clash. She has Final Power, so her Clash is going to be good. She has gained Corpus count. She inflicts a lot of debuffs. Simple stuff so far. But let's have a look at what happens when she dismounts from the armor and achieves the flow state, as it states. I believe all of these values are the same. Yeah, so all the values are the same, and the skill names are kind of the same. This is Butcher Ribs, this is also Butcher Ribs. Anyway, flow state skill 1, I guess I'll just call that. Deal more damage for every X type of negative effect on the target. You gain Final Power for every bleed on target. You inflict bleed count. You inflict defensible down next turn, and gain defensible up next turn. Is that the exact same as this? I think it's... Okay, instead of gaining okay, no, you gain final power only, but you deal more damage. So those who deals more damage, and maybe the numbers are bigger, so maybe she gets more bleed count, maybe she inflicts more defense and gains more. But anyway, the skill 1 is pretty much the same, with probably most likely better. Skill 2-2, or aka the time for your meal Farseer. This is the flow state skill 2. Flow state exclusive skill. Deal more damage for every X type of negative effect on the target. Gain final power for every bleed on the target. Add X corpus ingredient count, consume Y to gain the following effect. Gain clash power, convert the final coin of the skill to unbreakable. You will inflict bleed count. You will, on the first coin, second inflicts bleed, bind, and gains haste, and the third will gain more corpus ingredient count. Again, most likely the exact same in terms of gaining the effect. It's probably just a stronger version of it. In fact, if I go over here, I believe she has literally the same thing, at least, but it looks like she just deals more damage. So she loses that extra clash power, but gains more damage, but she probably gets more clash power overall. So a more DPS version of the skill, most likely with better buffs. She also does actually gain haste here instead. As you can compare, she just gains the bind, or inflicts the bind, and also gains the haste. Then we move on to her unique skill 3, or her flow state skill 3. Liberation of the Repressed Flesh. This is, again, another 4-coiner. Flow state exclusive skill. On use, deal more damage for every excess attack weight beyond the number of actual targets. Gain final power for every bleed on the main target. Add X corpus ingredient count, consume Y ingredient count to gain the following effects. Final power, deal more damage for every X count consumed. And then at X corpus ingredient potency, gain attack weight, convert all of these skills to unbreakable. And then in the order of what these actually do, we have the first coin inflicts bleed potency, the second inflicts bind and gains haste, the third inflicts damage down and gains slash damage up, and the fourth deals more damage for every negative effect on the target and gains inflicts a bleed count. This is pretty much a better version of this skill 1, and much more similar to how Hong Lu's skills work, because we already read through him, and is most likely, again, going to be more values. Obviously, as you can see, she also gains much more damage from this due to her excess attack weight, and we do know she has, I think, at least 3 attack weight on this skill, if I believe, but I might be wrong. And also, she gets way more benefits for actually consuming the corpus ingredients as well. So that seems to be that. Then we move on to her defensive, which will come down here. We didn't read this one. This is her flow state exclusive dodge. Combat style, gain assist defense. On evade, she inflicts bind next turn against the attacker. On evade, she gains haste next turn. Okay, simple. But what about her assist defense? Also, the exhibition begins. We now have no acts of vandalism allowed. Is this the exact same skill? This might be the exact same skill. 2-coin power counter, exclusive flow state. Deal more damage for X negative effects on the target. Gain coin power for every bleed on target. At X corpus ingredient, consume Y to gain clash power and convert final coin to unbreakable. Inflict the bleed count on the first, inflict bleed on potency. Yeah, I believe these two are literally the exact same. Which makes sense because they are literally saying the same thing. Oh, there we go. Well, kind of. This one says no vandalism, but I'm pretty sure they are both the exact same skill between each other, but maybe different values. So maybe Faust is a little bit worse than Hong Lu's initially, or actually it could be the opposite. Faust has a better one. I'm not sure. We'll have to read the passives to figure out any more. Now, Faust luckily has a lot less passives than Hong Lu, but Farseer, my precious artwork. We have upon entering the encounter for the first time, you gain the number of Wandering Ring allies' corpus ingredient count. Skill end, if the skill dealt HP damage or shield, she gains corpus ingredient count. If she kills, they gain additional count as well. She gains corpus ingredient every time this unit consumes count, aka she gains potency. If the above effect unit potency is Y or higher, she gains artwork Farseer. Basic attacks and clashable counters also count as charge. So again, she is charge bleed. She counts as charge. Simple as much. Now we have armor of protection and repression. Here we have upon entering the encounter for the first time, gain Iron Maiden. If this unit has artwork Farseer, this unit loses Iron Maiden and gains the self-unbound flow state. When staggered, recover from stagger. Excluding force stagger. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So she also, okay, they just didn't show that in the trailer then, but she also just uncovers from Stagger. Does this give her the armor off? No, I don't think so. I think you need to unlock Farseer, which means you need to gain potency. So that's the only way to do it. Maybe this also unstaggers her, but it doesn't say it. I'm not sure. But now we know that she has an unstagger. Just for why? I felt like it. I think Kim Ji-hoon might be ring biased, guys. I don't know what something. Third passive, by the way. Inspired by critique. Double the amount of speed. What? Wait, double the amount of speed, clash power, damage buff gained from the semantic frisson inspiring melody. What? On hit, if the attack skill inflicted a negative effect, heal SP at the attack end. If the unit SP is max, gain slash damage next turn when this unit heals SP with the effect. I'm sorry, she just gains double the semantic buff? Which already gives clash power, deals more damage? And min-max speed? Because of her greed? please inspire me. Okay, what about the support passive? We have Iron Maiden Spikes. Iron Maiden Spikes. When hit, allies that equip defensive skills on their slots this turn inflict bleed on the attacker. If the attacker already has bleed, inflict bleed count instead. Okay, so they took the Iron Maiden passive that was from Foul normally, took the clash, took the bleed count infliction out, put it as a clash win, and then made it a support passive. So okay, I mean, you know what? Cool. More bleed count support passes. I'm sure people are going to be loving that. I have no problems with this. Especially if you're going to have a defense skill. I mean, this will be good for middle upscale. Is this another middle upscale? This will sound like a middle upscale. Unless it's like a lust res, then it might be a little bit harder of a middle upscale. But a temporary middle upscale. Moving on to the passive, shall we? Corpus Ingredient is the exact same thing. Here, she has unique charge, interacts the same as normal charge to raise or reduce. She loses X at turn count. Here is the Iron Maiden effect. Gain aggro to the leftmost skill slot. Turn start, she gains protection, defense level up, and shield HP equal to X of this unit's HP. When hit by the last coin of an attack, deal pierce damage equal to X of the said coin damage and inflict bleed count. Never mind, take back everything I fucking said in the last 1 minute about them taking off the Iron Maiden passive. They just put it in the Iron Maiden buff. So she does percentage coin damage and also inflicts bleed count if she has been attacked. To say the greed of this faction is perhaps equal to that of the middle would be an understatement. Next, we have the Self-Unbound Flow State. Gain minimax speed. Gain a new set of base attack skills. Deal more damage with base attack skills to enemies whose speed is lower than this unit. Okay, so she has sync damage conditionals too for fun. Here we have Artwork Farcia. Apply the following effects to this unit's base attack skills and clashable counter based on Corpus Ingredient. She gets 4 instead of Honglu's 5. She gains base power on level 1. If the enemy has bleed, deal more damage on level 2. She inflicts more bleed potency and count on level 3, and gains base power on level 4. The greed of this woman! What do I say about, okay, never mind, she might be bleed core. They might both be bleed core at this rate, dude. They're kind of insane. And then she also, and this is the semantic frisson inspire melody, which Honglu inflicts, gives to the allies, and she benefits from. What do I say about this, bro? Okay, these are IDs that we definitely need to get in play to feel it out how like the gameplay loop is. But I'm gonna just tell y'all this: the greed of this faction might be legendary. Okay, and are they glazing the Nursefather apprentices? Hell fucking yeah, they are. And I am so down for it. This is, I mean, these just read like massive W's, bro. We will obviously be pulling on the day, and also we'll be going over this in the live stream. So, if you made it to the end of the video, congratulations. I have nothing else to say. I'll see you all I'll see you tonight, but I'll see you all on Thursday if you want to see me pull and use the IDs. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.